Here's Raheem Morris, head coach of the Falcons, and the man who made the decision known to the world on Tuesday night, along with Kirk Cousins, on why Kirk Cousins has been sent to the bench.
What were the biggest things that stood out to you just recently from Kirk Cousins' recent play that you felt like you needed to make this change?
The turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the National Football League and expect to win. And we got to stop those things. And that was a big part of it. Some other things in there too, Alison, but obviously the turnovers were the big one.
Yeah, no, I would agree with him. It probably ultimately was the turnovers, and that's such a key thing in winning and losing in the NFL.
How was your health? Was that a factor? It looked like the zip might have not been on the balls lately.
No, I think going back to the turnovers, I think that's more probably decision making than anything, and that wouldn't have anything to do with any physical limitations. So I wouldn't say so.
Do you feel like you hope to still be a starter in the future in the NFL?
I didn't forget how to play quarterback. Certainly the turnovers were not what you want, but I didn't forget how to play.
I mean, Kirk, it's one thing to remember how to play. It's another thing to have the tools necessary to play. He still knows how to play, but the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak. And we've seen it. And I started talking to people yesterday. I'm trying to get a feel for what the rest of the world thinks of Kirk Cousins. And some will say, well, I haven't really thought about him at all. Some will say, I've only seen limited stuff. But the folks who have taken a closer look at it are like, no, it's done. It's done. This year, it's done. And it may never come back. And, I heard a lot of the stuff that we were drilling down on yesterday. You've got an Achilles tendon, serious injury, recovery from that. Clearly at the start of the season, wasn't driving on it, wasn't trusting it, even if it was fully healed. Mentally, wasn't trusting it, putting stress on the rest of his body. And you can only do so much of that before the rest of your body says, what the hell? What the hell?
Right.
And you become exhausted and you can't do it anymore. You just physically can't do it. And the question is, will rest and different exercises and recovery and et cetera bring it back at 36, 37? And somebody else made a very good point, and we say this from time to time, but it's one thing for us to say it, it's another thing for somebody in the business to say it. Look, Tom Brady messed us all up on our expectations of aging as a football player. Tom Brady defied Father Time longer than anyone. That doesn't mean everybody else is going to do the same thing. And the wheels can come off between 35 and 40, and they can come off closer to 35, and that might be happening too.
Yeah, well, first off, as a guy that's never been known for his physical attributes, nobody's ever been like, oh, wow, his arm, wow, it's special. Brady, like we've talked about a million times before, guys like Mahomes, Brady, Josh Allen, when they're 52, they're still going to be able to throw it like at a high level. It's just they're not going to be able to do anything else. Kirk Cousins is not one of those guys, right? It's that big, long motion, and it's very kind of over the top and up and down. It's different than what we see from some of the great quarterbacks in the game right now. So there's that. He's never been known for that aspect. And like you said it, right? That's the $1 million question. Is it done? Because, yeah, it looks real raggedy this year, or is it something here that he can regain a little bit, yes, with time and the continued rehab and getting the lower leg stronger to where he can pop in the pocket and make throws and do all that, right? But, yes, these were never his strengths, and it got emphasized and put under a microscope even more this year because we saw a lot of plays and throws early in the year where we went, that doesn't look great, and the ball's fluttering in the air, and there's no pace behind it. And then they got into a little mode where they moved the ball, and he was surgical and do all that, but we were still like, man, there's not a lot of big plays from this team who's got some weapons and some people who can do things. And then it's like the season itself started to wear him down as well. And he can't sit here and tell me that some of those turnovers aren't because of the physical things that we're talking about. There's no way. There's balls that we've talked about and we've showed on this show, we've showed on Football Night in America, where I'd go, no, last year's Kirk Cousins before the Achilles injury, the ball didn't flutter in the air like this for 7 seconds. Even that right there. You could see the wobble on the ball. There's nothing there. There's no pace or velocity to it. So, and to that, when you're not throwing the ball well, and you've heard me say this and you've heard other quarterbacks say this, when you're not throwing the ball well, it starts to affect your decision making. You start to go, ooh, wait, he's open, but my arm's not feeling real powerful and strong. I'm going to pass that up, and now I'm going to go somewhere else. And it's like, no, it's the NFL. You only get one guy open on a play. You can't go, oh, I'm going to go here now. And I think that's why also you've seen him throw the ball like that last one right there against the Vikings and a few others into mosh pits. Because he's like, he doesn't know what to do with it. He wasn't sure if he should pull the trigger originally, and he's hesitant. And so I do think all of those physical attributes and things that he's dealing with have affected him in decision-making, turnovers, and accuracy. And can he get it back? I don't know. But I would bet more on the no side than the yes side with what I've seen so far, and Kirk Cousins as a total specimen altogether, Mike.
What you saw while Chris was speaking, the 9 interceptions over the last 5 games that greased the skids for this benching, and it really is incredible when you think about it. He had 4 touchdown passes, no picks against the Cowboys.
Yep.
They won that game, and then the wheels came off after that. And that points to the body just getting to the point where can't do it anymore. Can't do it. Can't do the full body heave of the football if you're not going to be able to completely drive off of the heel that had the surgically repaired Achilles tendon. And apples to apples, Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers. And this is simple. Rodgers just flicks a wrist, and it's bzzz.
That's right. Right.
He's built differently.
That's when you hear effortless.
It's not
right.
It's not a catapult.
Effortless. Right? Cousins is a high effort thrower. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's got to crank down the catapult.
Right.
Right. You put a lot of work into getting that boulder in the air, and Rodgers is just like, there's that boulder. Here
you saw some of the throws last week. Devontae Adams down the middle of the field, like just nothing. There's nothing there. Now, and it's to what you're saying, Mike. For one, it's his motion and all that. He's another guy. He's going to be able to throw rockets when he's 52. And to all the things you've always said when you were, I love him not, Kirk Cousins, right, is he doesn't make plays. He doesn't make plays outside the pocket. He's never been an athlete who had exceptional pop or power in his legs. Rodgers, on the other hand, is I run a 4.5 40, and in my prime, I could do special dunks and do stuff like that. That was crazy. And that's where I think it makes it even double as hard for Kirk Cousins to come back from what he's dealing with right now.
There's been a lot of talk about whether or not Rodgers will be back with the Jets, and as we explain this and discuss it, it's like, why wouldn't he want him back? He can still do that flick of the wrist, but you know what the problem is, Chris?
What?
His Madden rating 77. So,
you're funny.
Sorry, Aaron. We'd love to keep you around, but the Madden rating has spoken.
Is it really 77 right now?
It's 77.
Wow, that's crazy. I can't even believe that.
Travis Kelce borrowed 10, 15.
You're funny.
By the way, Kirk Cousins is at 78. So see, this entire discussion is meaningless. There's no reason to watch the show. Just if you have a question about a player, just look at his Madden rating, and you'll know everything you need to know.
Funny.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.